Yes, it's the midterm, and there are election jitters in Los Angeles right now because tomorrow is the highly anticipated primary for LA mayor. While President Trump did not give a full endorsement, he did hint one. Recently, he said this about Spencer Pratt, a reality TV personality who hopes to unseat incumbent Mayor Karen Bass.
I'd like to see him do well. He's a character. I don't know him. I assume he probably supports me. Does he support me?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. I heard he does. I heard he's a big MAGA person. He's doing well.
If you're not one of LA's nearly 4 million residents, you may be asking yourself, why should I care about this election? Well, because the issues that haunt LA, such as homelessness, addiction, illegal immigration, house prices, gas prices, those are national issues, and they are highlighted by the severity of the crisis in Los Angeles. Senior correspondent John Huddy is in Los Angeles. John?
Yeah, and Greta, we're getting an up-close and personal view of the crisis here in downtown, in the shadow of downtown LA, in the area known as Skid Row. And one of the reasons that Spencer Pratt and his campaign have gained so much traction and they're doing so well and he's become so successful and has such a large audience is because he's really emphasized and focused on the drug addiction issue, homelessness, and rampant crime throughout LA, not just here in Skid Row, but this is really the epicenter. As I step out of the way, and Mark, you can see, Greta, the line that basically this long homeless encampment going all the way down 5th Street here, and this is what it looks like throughout all of this area known as Skid Row here in downtown LA. You know, the other reason Pratt's been successful and why this race is so close now going into tomorrow's primary between incumbent Mayor Karen Bass and also LA City Councilwoman Nithya Ramna, who is also in the race, and polls are showing that they're kind of flip-flopping with different percentages, but, you know, and very close. But his use of AI-driven technology, the videos that he's posted online that have a huge audience, that are basically have been a hit and have gone viral, attacking Pratt and also attacking Rahman over their issues, or rather Bass and Rahman over their issues. That said, we spoke with here in Skid Row, the so-called mayor of Skid Row. This is a gentleman named Kevin Call, who got that name because of his advocacy for the homeless and his battles basically to end homelessness and addiction here in Los Angeles, who really lambasted Karen Bass. And we also talked to a homeless gentleman about the crisis, how long he's been on the streets. First, you're going to hear from Kevin Call. Have a listen.
I actually had a meeting with her the day she got elected, when she told us that she would turn this city around and she began to work with the homeless. I asked her, what are we going to do about this crisis? We got the Olympics coming here. We got the World Cup coming here. Yeah. All your citizens, as you know,
What was her answer?
Well, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But how long can you work on it?
Do you think this will ever go away? You know, Skid Row, the homeless encampments here.
I tell you what, they can clean it up to a certain point. I don't care what they do. It's going to be some stragglers along, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't going to be like this, though. You know, it'll be a lot better. Yeah. And then on top of that, man, I'm going to just tell you the truth. Some get comfortable both down here, knowing they can get something to eat and don't have to work and all that. Yeah, but I ain't with that.
And Greta, actually, as he was talking, we're seeing an LAPD helicopter now circling overhead, and we're hearing a lot of sirens downtown. Who knows what that is? Kevin, by the way, used to live on Skid Row for many years before he was able to clean up and get himself out of there. And one final note, that gentleman that we were talking to, his name is T-Bone on the Streets, he lives on the corner in that basically tent and tarp encampment. And before our interview, he asked Greta if he could have a smoke, and I thought he was talking about a cigarette that he was rolling, but instead, when I said yeah, he loaded his pipe with rock cocaine, with crack cocaine, and smoked. A really sad, disturbing reminder of what happens every day here in the city of Los Angeles, Greta.
John, did Kevin give you any idea how he got out of there? I mean, what he did to lift himself out?
We didn't really get into that too much. I didn't ask him so much about that. He was able to get clean off of drugs. I didn't have him detail that. And then he just got help and assistance, basically. But we didn't delve too much into that. We just talked about the issue in general and basically the lack of City Hall's response to his request, to his, you know, his hope that this would start to be cleaned up, or at least something would be done to stem this issue. And it's gotten progressively worse, Greta. Just quickly, I used to live down here in Southern California. I grew up in Ventura, which is basically the next county up from LA. I never came down to Skid Row, obviously, because it was too dangerous, but it's gotten way worse. From what I remember years ago, this is not even close to what it was like then. It's gotten progressively worse, and certainly a lot more dangerous, as we're seeing with the LAPD response now, as I'm talking.
And
Back to you.
seems pretty hopeless as well. Anyway, John Huddy, thank you. People think news just happens. It doesn't. It happens because there's someone there to capture the moment, to explain it and share it. That's my job. I go where news breaks and give you the facts. Join me for The Record on Newsmax.